What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Pop Culture. I'm JC, and there we have it. We have our Supergirl for the DCU. Millie Alcock has been cast as Kal-el Zor-el in James Gunn's DCU. I know it was just a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Can't remember. It all runs together anymore. Hell, I don't know. But we were talking about the three finalists. She was one of those screen testing for the role. She lands it. So not only do we get that news, I'm going to share a Deadline article talking about that, but we get a little bit of an update on the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow project itself, the upcoming movie that's slated to come later in the Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters start to James Gunn's DCU. So going to update both those things. Got some good Supergirl news to talk about. So let's get into this shit. And as we get into it, I want to remind you guys, if you're a fan of DC movies or movies in general for that matter, be sure to subscribe here to JC's Pop Culture if you don't already. Talking movie news, movie reviews, trailer reactions, TV series reviews, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to be covering James Gunn's DCU all the way in the lead up to, the live action debut with Superman Legacy. And of course, Creature Commando is supposed to be coming later this year as far as the animated start to James Gunn's DCU, I guess. But going to share this Deadline article here, sharing the casting news of Millie Alcock being cast as Kal-el Zor-el in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow for the DCU, and apparently may appear in Superman Legacy. More on that momentarily, but you see here from Deadline, as you see, there's the picture, and of course the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic as well that the film is going to be loosely based on, I do believe. But House of the Dragon actress Millie Alcock has landed the coveted role of Supergirl in James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DC universe. The Australian-born Alcock played the role of young Princess Rhaena Terragarden in the first season of HBO's Game of Thrones spinoff House of the Dragon. I probably just butchered the shit out of that name, but I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, never got into it. So this is going to be my first really exposure to Millie Alcock, will be in this Supergirl role. As I mentioned, she did screen test with the other two actresses, Amelia Jones, Meg Donnelly. Previously covered that here in an update on the channel. But Meg Donnelly did voice Supergirl in the Justice League animated movie that just came out, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. I did mention that as well. But Millie Alcock is the one that lands the role. There's been buzz that the new Supergirl will appear in James Gunn's Superman Legacy, which is about to go before the cameras in Georgia, but not 100% confirmed yet. According to this Deadline article, what we know is that she'll appear in a DC-based project before starring in her solo feature Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which I'd be surprised if that project wasn't Superman Legacy, especially with her being cast this soon. And even though Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow doesn't have a director, but does have a writer, more on that as well momentarily. But the movie is going to be based on Tom King's 2022 comic book series, and James Gunn reposted Deadline story just confirming this here. So that's why I wanted to share the Deadline article really specifically in this video. And then now let's talk about some Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow news, which, like I said, this shit's coming from comicbook.com here. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow gets a major filming update following Millie Alcock's casting. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow may end up being one of DC Studios' next projects to enter production. Once the Hollywood trade started reporting the news of Millie Alcock's casting, one outlet snuck in more details about the film itself into the reporting. According to the Hollywood Reporter, this film could be on track to film this year, hinting at a late 2025 or early 2026 release. And you see here the quote coming from that Hollywood Reporter article. Supergirl is moving like a speeding locomotive, and it's possible the feature could be shooting in the fall if Warner soon finds a director. Anna Noguera is penning the script, which I looked her up, and I actually interestingly enough, doesn't look like she's ever written a feature. This will probably be her feature debut as far as screenplay is concerned. She wrote a short back in 2018 called We Win, but she's mainly been an actress from what I can tell. She's been in things like The Blacklist, The Vampire Diaries, Michael J. Fox Show, Blue Bloods, just to name a few there. So has been an actress throughout her career. Looks like she's transitioning into writing, wrote that short in 2018, and now has been pegged by James Gunn to write the script for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, that she's going to pin that. So interesting choice there, but I think I'm trusting all of James Gunn's decision at this point. He hasn't proven me wrong with anything he's done, and I've got full faith in him that he's going to make this DCU shit work as well. But going to continue to report on it as we lead up to this Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie, as we lead up to the DCU in general here on JC's Pop Culture. When the movie finds a director, we'll announce that here as well, since we now know, who's playing Supergirl, who's writing the film, and this film may be, fast-tracked, it sounded like as well. So, but as we said, James Gunn confirmed the news, and this is what he stated. This is accurate. Millie is a fantastic young actor, and I'm incredibly excited about her being a part of the DCU. Yes, I first became aware of her in House of the Dragon, but I was blown away by her varied audition and screen tests for Supergirl. She embodies Kara as envisioned by the comics writers, and of course the one that's writing the film that we just talked about, Anna Noguera, which James Gunn goes on to talk a little bit more about the writer of the film, Anna Noguera, saying a hearty public welcome to Anna Noguera to the DCU Studios family. Gunn stated on social media, Anne is an amazing writer whose screenplay adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow is above and beyond anything I hoped it would be. We're excited to be moving forward on this unique take on Supergirl in this beautiful star-spanning tale. So seems like her script really blew him away, and that's got to get you excited in and of itself there. So I would be surprised if we don't see Millie Alcock pop up in Superman Legacy, but sounds like we could get Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow as one of the, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be the next one after Superman Legacy, but it's going to be early here in the DCU for James Gunn. So we now know who will be playing Supergirl, who's writing the script for that film, and a bit of an update here on the DCU yet again on JC's Pop Culture. So there we have it, the latest DCU news in terms of Supergirl's casting and a little bit of news on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Seems like good shit to me. Those are kind of my thoughts, though. Would love to hear your alls. Drop them in the comments. Appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow up this JC's Pop Culture channel. And like I said, if you're a DC fan, going to be covering all the DCU news in the lead up to its start here in the movies. So looking forward to that and all the news that's going to come out in the lead up there, and we'll be covering here on JC's Pop Culture. So be sure to subscribe here if you haven't already, and do me a favor, if you made it this far in the video, hit the thumbs up button. Really helps a ton with that YouTube algorithm and shit as we continue to try and grow the channel. Having said that, as always, I'm JC. Until next time, later, film fans.